Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. Many times I get asked what kind of food I am eating to help me with my weight loss, and that Pinterest board is a great place to see a lot of my favorite whole food plant-based meals. Today is day 836 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose 245 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing about those as well. If you're struggling with your diet, what are you struggling with? Maybe we can help out. If you're succeeding with your diet, let us know what's going on and share it with the rest of us so we can all learn from you as well. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are going to do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead, switch over to the main screen here. I hope everybody had a wonderful evening yesterday, and today is February 14th. It is Valentine's Day, so I hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day as well. Hello, Cindy and Tennis and Yoga Girl. I hope you're having a great day. Real quick, I will pull up the food since yesterday. Let me see what where we're at here. So did not take a ton of food photos, I don't think, but let's see what we got here. So last night for dinner, we had a soup that we've had in the past. This is a cabbage soup. There's a whole bunch of cabbage in here, some lentils, tomatoes. I'm sure there's some onions in there as well. This was a really awesome dinner last night and very filling as well. Just a lot of food. And then after dinner, we had some more of the cobbler that we've been enjoying since we started doing the Chef AJ reboot. It's pretty crazy, or it feels weird like ending the day with a dessert, but every day I come in and I get on the scale and I'm losing weight each day. So even with ending the day with this dessert, we're still making headway towards losing weight, which is awesome. Then today for food, I started my breakfast or my morning off with some broccoli. I put a little bit of the California balsamics curry in there, which was a great flavor. And then our oatmeal here. And I'm realizing that I did not eat lunch today. I got busy this afternoon and I did not end up going and eating any lunch, but I'm sure I got a couple potatoes. I'll probably grab those and have one on the way home here. Hello, Christy. I hope everything's going great for you today. Let's see. So that's really all the food photos I have for the past 24 hours. Not near as exciting as my video yesterday, or the what I eat in a day that I did yesterday. But either way, I feel wonderful, and it was that soup last night was really good. It was very filling, and just really satisfying. Let's see her, Barb. Hello, Barb. How you doing today? Hope everything's going great for you. Hello, Carrie. Hope everything's going wonderful for you as well. You got a busy evening this afternoon. So, and then hello, Plants Only Muncher. Hope you guys are all having a great day today. I'm trying to think of what I even did yesterday evening. Oh, my son had a meeting last night. So, Pretty Girl's mom, happy Valentine's family. Yes, happy Valentine's Day back to you as well. Carrie says we're having leftovers tonight. We got that soup, or there was a mango salsa with rice and black beans that Carrie had made up the other day. So lots of leftover options. And I'm actually excited to have that cabbage as leftovers. Something that I've brought up in the past is that um, a lot of these meals that we have are, decently complicated, or there's a lot of ingredients in the meals. And when we generally we make the meal the same day that we eat that meal, but sometimes we have leftovers, or we have occasion where we have leftovers, and things like the soups that we have as leftovers, I almost prefer them the next day or when we have them as leftovers, because all of those ingredients have had a chance to kind of uh, marinate with each other and kind of mix together, and just increases or improves the flavor of a lot of these recipes that we have. So I'm looking forward to having leftovers tonight, which is something that I never liked really. I didn't, it wasn't that I didn't like leftovers. It's just, it never seemed like I ended up going for the leftovers when it was time to eat. It was, I would always end up making something new. And I'm sure we threw away lots and lots of leftover food just because there was always something new. And that probably comes with a little bit of the convenience of the food. When food is very easy to come by, or it's very convenient to get, then the leftovers really have less of a value to them, and you end up getting rid of them. Janet says, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's back to you too, Janet. I hope you're having a great day. So having the leftovers is something that in the past was not wasn't really anything I really looked forward to. It was kind of in my head, it was almost like, well, that's old food, but it's, that's one of the things that's kind of changing. And it's because we're eating this way that we end up having leftovers a lot, because it makes it much easier to cook these things almost like a batch cooking, or cooking them in a large volume so that you have something to eat. That's an advantage to having or making large portions, is that kind of helps with that kind of what I say at the beginning of every stream. What are you going to do to make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Well, having leftovers in the kitchen is something that will help you to stay on your diet versus the alternative. Because if you're in your house and you have nothing in your fridge, then the possibilities are limitless for what you could decide to go eat. But if you have acceptable food in your fridge, then you have to actively say, no, I'm not going to eat that healthy food. I'm going to choose to eat something that's unhealthy. So that's, so don't be afraid to overcook the amount of food that you have. And really, with the diet that we eat, I eat such a large volume of food that many of these dishes we probably would have leftovers, but I end up finishing them. Like when we have the polenta with the white beans and mushrooms, I'm sure that white bean and mushroom mix would be better the next day, but I usually end up eating all of it on the first day. But it's nice having, when we have the leftovers, it's nice having that as an option, so you're not stuck with having to make bad food choices. Trying to think if anything else happened in the past day here. I did have a bit of a non-scale victory that is, I don't know. So I don't work out a whole lot. I don't do a lot of stuff to make myself stronger or bigger. I already showed my food, Janet. I showed my dinner already here. You did miss it. Yes, I was very quick with it this morning. Yesterday we had a cabbage soup that Carrie made up here, but just because you're asking, I'll pop it back up here. Because we had here we go. This was dinner last night. Here was a cabbage soup that Carrie made. Really awesome soup last night. And then we had some dessert, which was the fruit cobbler for dinner last night. So there you go. Yes, yum. You love cabbage soup. Yeah, I was, Carrie had been talking to somebody at work about cabbage, and she was like, well, I got a whole head of cabbage I got to get through. So she made that cabbage soup last night. And it was really good. I enjoyed it. You had the cobbler too. Yeah, the cobbler, like I said a little bit ago, it's really surprising to me finishing the day with a dessert or, having something real sweet at the end of the day. And then getting to work the next day, hopping on the scale, expecting to see this, the weight go up or not see a loss, and then being surprised with the loss. Tennessee Girl, you said you'd love to know how you make the cobbler. So Plant Powered Peddler Janet has been on her YouTube channel. She's been making a lot of the recipes from the Chef AJ reboot. I don't think she has the specific amounts in there, but the cobbler is fairly simple from what I understand. The crust is like oats and banana. I don't know if there's much else to it than that. And then, Plant Powered Peddler Janet says you just put 2 pounds of fruit in the pan. So that's kind of what we've been doing. We got like this 9x9, cooking, it's a pan, but it's made out of like the cooking stone. I don't know what you call it. Ceramic, like a 9x9 ceramic, maybe, that Carrie fills with whatever frozen fruit we have in the fridge. Right now, it's been a peach, pineapple, strawberry mix. And then you mix the banana and the oats together and put it on as a on the top there. Janet says here that, let me look, I'll put the oatmeal mix in. Okay. And then Plants Only Muncher says you're making pickled red onions from the Well Your World cooking show on Friday. You're also going to pickle broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and jalapeno peppers. These will make a good snack. I'll have to check out and see what were they using to pickle it. I thought that pickled stuff, you had to use a lot of salt, but I'm sure they just vinegar then without salt, because I know Well Your World doesn't do any sodium, I don't think. So Carrie says you just puree the 2 bananas, or she uses 2 bananas, and then you put some seasoning in it like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom, mixed in with a few cups of oats, and that's really what the topping of it is. So yeah, give it a shot or check it out. I really like it. And, a big part about this diet and being compliant on this diet is that I never feel guilty about the volume of food that I'm eating. And, so that has no salt, vinegar, water, and spice, no salt. Okay. So there's no salt. It's vinegar, water, and spices. I think that's what you're saying there, to pickle the vegetables you're talking about. I don't know what I was just going on about. Yes. And then we bake the cobbler. Yes. It goes in the oven for, I don't know, probably at 350 for a little while. I think it's set at, and just enough. Yeah. Bake at 350 for how long? really until it looks like the oats have gotten a little golden. Maybe Janet or Carrie will pop in with the time. Carrie says she'd love to try the pickling. She subscribes to Well Your World. She's going to have to look up that recipe. 40 to 45 minutes. Yeah. 350 it for 40 to 45 minutes, Carrie says. So yeah, that's, and like I said, I really enjoy having a bunch of, fruit at the end of the day. And I don't ever feel guilty having the fruit or eating a bunch of fruit at the end of the day because, I know it's really low fat and, it's overall, it's good, or it makes me feel good to eat it. What did I do with my notes? I had not a bunch of notes, but I had a few notes out here. Almost bit me. So the non-scale victory, I mentioned it briefly, but I didn't really go into my non-scale victory here. So I don't do a lot of working out. I'm not exercising a lot, but, Carrie says that she loves that indulgence to finish off the day, having that cobbler at the end of the day. Yeah, it is nice having that kind of making sure I'm going to bed full is what it does. But the non-scale victory, and don't tell my doctor, but I did 2 push-ups in a row today. Like got on the ground and did what I felt like were pretty good, solid form push-ups. I just I've been feeling great for the last few weeks. I know that at some point in the past year, I've gone to do a push-up and it was either very difficult to do the single push-up or I was only able to do a single push-up. And today I don't know. I was just feeling good and thought, I'm going to try doing a push-up. And so, I did, yes, everybody's calling me out about my arm. It was fine. You don't use your bicep much when you're doing a push-up. And, it's mostly back and tricep, but I guess a big reason why push-ups might be a little significant to me or more significant to me is because I've done a lot of push-ups in my life. Growing up, I was the 4th of 5 kids. I was the 3rd of 3 boys. And when me and my younger brother were growing up, my dad kind of implemented a punishment system that revolved around push-ups. If we did something wrong, generally our punishment was to go do push-ups. We wouldn't get timeout or we wouldn't get spanked, or it'd be, you did something wrong, go do 20 push-ups, go do 30 push-ups. You hurt your brother, go do 20 push-ups. The number of times that I had to do 20 push-ups in my life is incredible. It was, I'm sure my dad probably got it from being in the military, and that's kind of how they punish people in the military. He was in the Army for a short time. And so, growing up from the time I was in elementary school, really all the way up until high school, I was doing 20 to 40 push-ups a day, because I was, a problem child. No, I wasn't a problem child, but it was even for little things, like table manners. I'd have to go do push-ups if talking with your mouth full or eating with your elbows on the table and stuff like that. So, it was something where I've done lots of push-ups in my life, but as an adult, I haven't done a lot of push-ups in my life. So to be able to go do, yes, everybody's calling me out here. Too soon. No, I mean, my doctor told me I could stop wearing my arm brace by the end of this week. And then, no. Yeah. End of this week, I can start taking my arm brace off. So, but I haven't really had any pain in my arm at all. My motion's been great. The only thing that sucks is that I am definitely weaker, like picking things up. I can't lift like I used to be able to lift. And really the only thing that I lift that's even that heavy, and it's not even that heavy, are my kids. So we're playing with them there. Yes, push-ups. Should be doing sit-ups. Yes, I should do some sit-ups and see how many sit-ups I can do. I used to like doing, like in PE class, we would have to do, how many sit-ups can you do in 60 seconds? And even as one of the bigger kids in class, I would generally do well with that. So, but yeah. And Carrie says, thank you all for being outraged along with her. Yes. Drop and give me 20. Exactly. That's kind of what it was. If you re-injure, you will regret it. Oh yeah, I absolutely would regret it. And I would not have tried it if I thought that there was going to be any issue. And it, like I said, a push-up, there's not really, I guess maybe on the down, there's not much of you. But Cindy says, when you're fully healed, you do 100 push-ups. Okay, that's my punishment. So now I'm being punished for doing push-ups, and I need to do 100 push-ups, but when I'm healed. So we'll keep that on the list. And that actually, there's just not, like I said, I don't do a lot of physical challenges, or I don't do a lot of exercising. But one of the things that I would really like, I'm really wanting to be able to do is to do a pull up, like a pull up bar pull up, because I never like, I think that, looking back, there might have been, like my freshman year of high school, I lost some weight and got kind of lighter, and maybe did 1 or 2 pull-ups, but I've never been able to do a pull-up. And so that would be something that would be a big non-scale victory for me when I get to the ability to do that. But that one, I definitely am going to wait until my arm's a little bit more healed and I lose some weight so I get closer. But just kind of nice to be able to move my body without a ton of effort. Just in the 2 years ago, to get up off the ground, I would need a chair or a wall to help me get up off the ground. And now, I can do that pretty easily. Rob Z, you said you've never done a pull up either. Yeah, it would be, just kind of something that, there were kids that would do 10 or 12 of them in PE class, and I'd be sitting there trying to like swing my body just to get my arms bent, and that's just the result of being so heavy, like I was a strong kid too, but you can't overcome that sometimes. Carrie says life goals. Yeah. Being able to do push-ups and pull-ups, but just like I said, just being able to function normally, or what should be normally, like the effort that it takes me to do. Like I did those 2 push-ups and I'm not worn out. I wasn't winded after trying to do them. And even when you were in good shape, you couldn't do them. Yeah. I think that it's something that it takes some training to do, and who knows, like I said, it would be fun to do, but it's not the other thing that would be fun to do that I have is a kip up, which like I've watched, like as a kid watching all these, martial art movies and stuff like that, and watching guys do a kip up. And if you don't know what that is, it's like going from laying flat on your back to your feet, like by rolling up on your shoulders and kicking out. But that I don't have any visions of ever doing that. The days of that ever being a possibility are long gone. I don't have that kind of flexibility or ability at all. So yeah, that was my non-scale victory today. I was able to actually push my body off the ground twice. And so and for many people that's, probably like whatever, like that's easy, but coming from being 520 pounds, that's pretty awesome for me. So So today is Valentine's Day, and the title of the stream here is Losing It for the Ones You Love. And I was talking to Carrie about this a little bit, and, you know, a lot of people talk about like finding your why. And, when you make other people your why, it does become difficult, because it's very important that your why is your own health, and it's yourself. But when you need to consider those around you, and you need to consider your loved ones, because if you were to pass away, or you suffered severe health consequences because of your diet, that's going to cause pain to those people that you love. And if you just think about like the pain that you would go through if you lost somebody or something that you love, whether it's a spouse or a parent or a child or even a pet. I think we have a dog that's 16, 17 years old, and the idea of him passing away really sucks. That pain, you can kind of envision that pain. And then when it inevitably will happen, it'll be extremely painful. But, if you just think of that pain that you would feel if you lost somebody that you love, and that's the same pain that those people would have to go through if you passed away. And they're going to have to go through that pain without you there too. I feel like I want to be there for my loved ones when they are feeling that kind of pain. I want to be able to help them and be there to comfort them. But if you're the one that's making the bad food choices, then you're not going to be around to comfort them when you're gone. And by choosing to eat bad foods, or choosing to eat foods that are not healthy or not in the best interest of your overall health, then, that's choosing to hurt those ones that you love. It's by destroying yourself with your food choices. How is that different than destroying something else that person loves? Like, you wouldn't take away your kid's favorite stuffed animal unnecessarily, or you wouldn't get rid of their pet, because that would cause such pain to them. But when you choose to eat poorly, you are doing that. You are taking away something you love from those people that love you. And that thing is you. You're taking yourself away from them, and you're putting your dietary pleasures in that moment ahead of what their needs and their wants are from life. And so you really have to understand that by choosing to improve your own health, you're choosing to show love to your family. Like, that's part of the, part of the system, the circle of it, I guess. It's tough to realize, you don't think about hurting. Like, every time I went to fast food, every time I didn't make it on a diet that I did in the past, I thought I was failing myself, and I was failing myself, but I was also failing my family. I was failing my wife. I was failing my friends. I was failing my animals. I wasn't just failing myself by choosing to eat something that was unhealthy. And then Tammy here says that destroying yourself with food choices is not much different than the mind or mood altering drug choices. Yeah. You look at family members that are choosing to drink alcohol, or they're choosing to use drugs that are harming themselves. They think of it as, oh, this alcohol is only harming me. This alcoholism or this drug use is only harming me. But what they don't realize is that while they are doing that thing, they're also not with their family either. Like when I would, I guess you're choosing that vice over the time with your family. And it's really, again, in the addict's mind or in my mind, when I was hurting myself. I wasn't hurting my kids by stopping and getting fast food. I was hurting myself. That was the only person that I was considering when I was making that, like, well, it's just, one more day, I can do it tomorrow, and you push it off, to that future version of yourself. But you don't realize that future version of yourself may never come, and you may pass away. You may have a severe health consequence before you decide to fix it, or before you get a chance to fix it. Carrie says that also being an example for the kids. Our kids are witnessing me and Carrie taking control of our eating, and they know our goal is to be here for them as long as possible. Yes. And that is, and I think that as humans, we are these amazing creatures, that we have this mind that allows us to imagine future events and future things. And one of the things that me and Carrie, from very early on in our relationship, we're going to be together forever. We're going to be married for 100 years. We're going to grow old together. We're going to watch our kids grow up. We're going to watch our grandkids be born and them grow up. And when we were at our heaviest, we would talk about it a lot, or we would talk about it. And I feel as if the reason why I would talk about it, or I would think about it, is because it would give you that kind of sense of being in that moment. Like I can sit here and I can imagine walking my daughters down the aisle for their wedding, or seeing my son graduate from high school and college and have a family of his own. Like I can envision those things, and that, your body releases chemicals almost as if those events are happening. But the reality of it was that I was imagining those events happening, but I wasn't doing anything in the real world that would actually allow those events to occur. Because if I wouldn't have changed the way I'm eating, I would be 540, 550 pounds now. I would be one step closer to the grave as opposed to 10 steps further away from it. And you have to realize that, or I had to realize that I was imagining those events because the reality was that they weren't likely to happen. And I wanted to at least have that feeling in my life, And so, it's by changing my diet and changing my health, I'm changing that future. I'm making what I was imagining a reality. And that's been huge. And like Carrie says here too, that our kids know that we're, that I'm doing this for my health so I can be here longer. But the advantage to me being here longer is I get to see these things. I get to grow old with Carrie. I get to watch my kids grow old and have their own kids, and their kids grow old. So it's by choosing to improve my health, I'm choosing to improve their lives as well, because they get to have the experience of, or they don't have to go through the pain of me being gone. They don't have to go through the pain of me suffering severe health consequences, or being, debilitated because of my health. And also, I am such a better father and a better husband now than I was when I started this. At 520 pounds, I would never have said that I was a bad dad. I would have defended myself to the death that I was a wonderful dad. But I realized that I was only as good of a dad as I could be at 520 pounds. I don't think I could have been a better dad, but I realize now that it was my weight was really what was keeping me from being a better dad. I wasn't as present at school events because I was embarrassed to go to these events because of my weight. I wasn't as active at home and playful at home. I would, I would have said, oh, I wrestle with my kids all the time. But in reality is I would wrestle with my kids for like 40 seconds at a time, maybe once every couple days. And that, while it was fun for them and we had, but it wasn't like what I'm able to do now. I can run around and wrestle with them for 5-10 minutes and still not be anywhere near as tired as I was 3 years ago when I would go for 30 to 50 seconds, And so that relationship with my kids is improved because I'm more present and I'm more active and I'm more involved with their lives, and I'm not embarrassed to be seen with them. Like that's something that I wrestled with my oldest kid, going to school and being, and I don't know that my kids ever were made fun of because of my size. But I remember being in school at their age and having kids, there was one kid in particular that I can think of that his dad was like the fat dad. Like that's, like his dad was heavier than anybody else's dad. And so that kind of stigma of obesity that his dad suffered from was also kind of surrounded him too, because he was a little overweight as well. And then you could see a future version of what his outcome might be. And so I worried about that for my kids, that they were going to go to school and they would be known as the kids who have a fat dad or a fat, and that has a negative effect on them. That while if we lived in a perfect utopian society, nobody would judge you based off of your parents, but that's not the world we live in, and it's not reality. And so by improving my health, improving my physical appearance, when my kids, as they get older and they do more school events that we are at, or we are what's the word that we're present at? What is it when spectating or something? I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of is. But when we're there to watch them for these things, I don't have to worry about them being embarrassed. Whereas 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I did worry about them being embarrassed by me. So that's a big part, or that's a big difference that it is made. And then not just with the kids, but also with Carrie too, like our relationship has improved because of my weight loss. I'm able to help out more around the house. Before, Carrie might have been less apt to ask me to go do something or help with something because she knows that it would have caused physical strain on my body to do that, or even like the going to the kids' events, like she would kind of always know that it was default that she would have to go to these events, whether I went or not. She would be the one that would be going to the event. And now that's not necessarily the case. I'm much more willing to be the parent to go do those things. And so I'm able to help as a partner in the parenting with the kids more because I've lost the weight. And then around the house too, just random things, doing, more around the house. Replacing the dishwasher this past weekend. I don't know how long that, like we went a couple days without a dishwasher. If I was at 520 pounds, maybe we go a couple weeks without a dishwasher, and Carrie deals with it because she knows the struggle that it would take for me to do it. And she would live with it. But because I lost the weight, once the dishwasher broke, I was able to go into action and do it. And then Cindy here asked, do I find my mood being better eating this way? 100%. Just being able to do stuff and not be frustrated by my inability to do it improves my mood. And the way my clothing feels improves my mood. Just the not having to go through 4 different shirts in the morning to find one that I feel like fits me okay. Or so yeah, I mean, my mood has improved because of the weight loss, and I believe that it's the food too. I think that and what I would say is in comparison to other diet periods of my life, or periods of time where I was dieting, this diet, I have the best mood than any other diet, because so many of those other diets, I was nearly starving myself, or I was eating, these super low calorie diets. And so it was very hard to be in a good mood when you are constantly hungry. Whereas that's not the case now. I get large volumes of food and I get a full belly, and I don't ever feel like it has been, and I feel like that has a big impression on my mood, is my ability to eat. Carrie says, thank goodness that didn't happen. I'm not sure what I said what that is, but, so in my relationship with Carrie, losing the weight has improved tremendously as a partner in the parenting, a partner in the managing of the house. And, our physical relationship has improved immensely too. Like, it's not anything that I was ever, it was not ever a problem, but things, physically are much easier, and it's much, it's not as much of a chore. I guess chore is not the right word, because it was always, okay. Carrie saying going more than a week without a dishwasher would have been a problem. But had I been 520 pounds, you would maybe not have, we would not have maybe made that decision as quick, I guess. Like, obviously you wanted it done as fast as possible, but you would have let me go longer with kicking that can down the road, I guess. But yeah, I mean, our relationship, our physical relationship, our intimacy has really improved in the past 3 years too. Like, I think of how much more mobility and flexibility and stamina I have that I didn't have 3 years ago, that has definitely improved. And it really, it's made our relationship better because of it as well. And so by losing this weight and choosing to improve my health, I've improved the lives of those around me, and you don't think of it doing that because it feels like this is such a individualized thing. It's all about you. It's your food choices. It's what you choose to eat. But what I choose to eat does have an effect on me, and it has an effect on everybody who interacts with me, everybody that works with me, everybody that, I live with, everybody that I see, my friends. It affects all of those relationships, and I didn't even really talk about friendships a whole lot, but like I'm a better friend at this weight. I'm more willing to go out and do things, and I have one friend of mine that, like I think he knew that I was uh embarrassed a bit. And so he was always cool with hanging out at his place, but now it's something where if he says, "Hey, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to this game, like whatever, I'm going to this bar or something," I would be much more willing to go now than I would have been 3 years ago, like just that, um because being that overweight, it feels lonely. You feel like you're all alone, even though you have friends and family around you. It feels very lonely and very isolated and like you're in solitude, because you spend so much time in your own head, uh, criticizing yourself. Like that's something that too is that my mood's improved because I don't have that, the buyer's remorse of eating junk food, like that would happen every day. I would sit there on my way to work and I would say, "I'm not going to eat fast food today. I don't have any plan of what I'm going to eat," which is, the dumbest thing possible, but I'm not going to eat fast food. I'm going to go to work. I'm not going to eat fast food today. I'm going to start my diet. And then by 12, I'm sitting there going, "I got to eat. What am I going to eat? I didn't bring anything to eat. I don't know what to eat. Well, I guess I'll just go have fast food." And then you give in and you eat the fast food and you enjoy the food. But then an hour later, you're kicking yourself and you're mad that you made that choice, that was something that you weren't going to make, that poor choice. You weren't going to do it. And then you did it. And then that brings your mood down. And that can cause all kinds of, you know, uh, lingering effects, because then you beat yourself up that you ate something bad, and then you eat something else bad because you feel bad about feeling bad for eating something that was bad, and it just, you find an excuse to keep eating. And now I don't have that, like I really, especially in the past few months. I don't know when, I think it was November that I kind of said, "Hey, I'm going back into this salt, oil, sugar thing." And maybe early November. So that's 3.5 months now that I've been um, really back into the no salt, oil, sugar. And there's not a single food that I eat that I feel guilty eating. I don't feel like I did something wrong because I chose to eat the cobbler, and the portions that I eat. I don't feel guilty about the portions that I eat. It's um and and even eating though I'm still losing weight, still coming off. So it's been uh it's been crazy these past couple years. And I'd kind of look to see, the progression over the past few years, and just that. So I started this challenge in November of 2020. And so this is the third Valentine's Day that I've had since I started this. I had Valentine's Day in 2021, 2022, and now in 2023. And I went back and I looked at kind of the videos from either Valentine's Day last year or Valentine's Day 2 years ago. And 2 years ago on Valentine's Day, I was 353 pounds. So I was about 78 pounds heavier than I am now. Or no, 70, yeah, something like that. And then almost 79 pounds. And then a year ago today, I was 320 pounds. So I was 46 pounds heavier than I am today. And just seeing that progression, like looking at my video from Valentine's Day 2 years ago when I was 353 pounds. And at that 300 from 520 to 350 pounds, that's some successful weight loss right there. But when I look at the video, I just think, man, I'm still so overweight, like I think of, I'm so much better off than I was, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be. And then I look at the video from last year and I'd lost another, between 2021, 2022, I lost about 32 pounds or so. And that difference was huge in itself, like just in my physical appearance. But now that I've lost another 46 pounds, it's even more noticeable, like the difference between me 2 years ago and today, just in my physical appearance. And that improves my mood by being in a better physical appearance because my clothing fits better. And now there's nothing in my house now that I can't wear, which is amazing. Like that's something that was, I don't really, outside of like a 1 month period in 2013, that is something that I've not been able to say my whole life. Carrie says that she definitely sees a confidence in me now that she did not see before, even when we were dating. And that's part of the reason why people are so curious about the changes that I've been making. Yeah, I definitely am very confident about things now, or I'm very much more confident about things now. And I really, it's crazy. The difference that it makes, just being physically, like, not feel like the first thing people notice about me is being overweight. And I'm still overweight. Like I'm still going to be one of the bigger guys in the room when I'm in a room right now, but I'm not always the biggest guy. At 520 pounds, I mean, it was very rare that I was not the biggest person in the room. And so I think that kind of eats away at your confidence. You also, and it really, I guess that failing over and over and over eats away at your confidence. You can think you're as confident as possible. You can say I'm confident, I'm very sure of myself, but when you're losing that mental battle every day, it really doesn't when you're losing that battle every day, it weighs on you, and it's going to lower your overall confidence here. Pretty Girl's Mom, you see a difference in my confidence here, even from a year ago. Yeah. It's a big part of it, I feel like, is the sustained weight loss. For me, losing weight in a 5 month to 10 month period of time, I was able to do that. I would never have, from the time I was 20, I can count multiple times where I lost 50 pounds, where I lost 60 pounds, where I lost 100 pounds. But I was never able to sustain that weight loss. Every time, maybe one day I'll play the video on here, but I was in 2013 when I lost a bunch of weight. I was seeing a doctor. I was taking a prescription that was an appetite suppressant. And over the course of 9 months, I went from like 410 pounds down to 290 pounds. I lost like 120, 125 pounds in 9 months. And the doctor that I was seeing, he had this weight loss program, or it was a weight loss clinic that he was running. And he would go on a local television show that would air right after the news or right before the news. I think, I can't remember, but it was like local businesses and local community things would come on and promote what they're doing. And I went on his show and I felt I was on top of the world. I was like, I'm 290, 285 pounds. I used to be 420. You just gotta have the confidence that you can make it through the day and you can do all this. And I thought I had it, and then I couldn't take the prescription anymore after 9 months. And as soon as I quit taking the appetite suppressant, the appetite showed up and I lost it. And that I lost a ton of confidence when that happened. Like, I would say that was probably one of the biggest blows to my confidence that I've had in my entire life, was thinking I had it figured out and then realizing that I didn't have anything figured out. And it kept me from even considering doing anything about my weight for the next 7 years. Like, it was, I wouldn't even mention it to Carrie that I wanted to lose weight, because I was so just defeated by it, because at that point I had done the gym thing and I had done the low calorie thing and I had done the doctor's prescriptions. And I just thought that really my only solution was going to be some sort of medical surgical intervention that was going to get me to lose weight. And I feel like for 7 years, I was just waiting for that catastrophe to happen in my life that caused me to go to a doctor and the doctor to say, hey, you should get weight loss surgery. Cause, I don't think I never want, weight loss surgery was never anything I wanted for myself, but I feel like the fact that it existed kept me from doing something, because I had that on, the back burner. I had that as an option, and I always felt like I would have been a good candidate, or I would have been able to get approved for it. Let's see. Cindy says, what were the meal plans the doctor gave you with the appetite suppressant? Oh, wow. No meal plan, nothing. I don't think I saw a single piece of paper from him that said what to eat. It was very much a eat in moderation kind of thing. Just eat less food. So this was, gosh, I don't have a whole lot of time, or I can't get too into it today. I'm going to get out of here in about 5 minutes, but I'll try to real quick say something about this. So, before I started the appetite suppressant, the only dietary advice that doctor gave me was eat everything that you want to eat right now. Before you start this appetite suppressant on Monday, this weekend, you go and you have fun. Like, literally, the doctor said, you eat whatever you want this weekend, and then you start the appetite suppressant on Monday. And so, yeah, I mean, I packed it in, pizza, fast food, whatever. And then I started the appetite suppressant, and, I had really very little hunger. And so my diet, losing 120 pounds over the course of 9 months, consisted of me not eating breakfast, not eating lunch. And then on my way home from work, I would stop at the gas station. I would buy a small can of Pringles. I would buy a regular size Kit Kat. I would eat those on my way home. And then when I got home, I would eat a half of a Polish sausage, or half of like a kielbasa, like the U-shaped things that come in the plastic. That was my diet for 9 months. That's what I ate. And I saw incredible success with my weight loss. And, yeah, and it was right. Barb says, how irresponsible. Really, it was like, I really the only thing that I liked about that in hindsight that whole experience that I had with that doctor was that we had a weekly meeting on Thursdays that was like an accountability thing. And I really enjoyed that aspect of that. But that is the only takeaway that I got from that. A positive takeaway that I got from that. Everything else was so yeah. Carrie says greasy rope sausage, and it was, and it got to the point that I got sick of that rope sausage. I don't even know what I was eating, but that was the diet that I was on. As long as I was losing weight, that's all that mattered, is in my mind. You know, I didn't do anything, but it was nothing healthy. There was no health aspect of it, but the doctor knew that as long as you were taking, as long as, you know, for me, after, you know, seeing the effects the appetite suppressant had on me early, the doctor, I could eat whatever I wanted because I wouldn't eat enough volume of food, or I wouldn't eat enough calories to be in a surplus for the day. So, yeah. And then, Cindy says my doctor should be ordered to do push-ups. Absolutely. He probably could. And again, you know, like that doctor, he was thinner, but he wasn't like the thin, you know, he wasn't like, ideal thin, you know, but he was thinner than me, I guess. And so, yeah, that whole experience was not the best, but anyways, I need to get going. I got some running I got to do. I really appreciate all you guys being on here and joining me for Valentine's Day. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Valentine's Day yourselves, or evening if you're going to do something. Try not to celebrate with any junk food or any food that is off plan. But you know, have an enjoyable evening with your loved ones. So thank you guys. I'm going to get out of here. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you've not clicked on the bell icon to get alerted when I go live or post new videos, make sure you do that. And if you've not liked this video, comment down below who do you have to be healthy for? Who in your life needs you around, and needs you to be healthy for them? And last but not least, if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody that gets to their goal weight, looks back and says that they wish they would have waited. Pretty Girl's mom here said, I would say your guardian angels have been busy for years, but many of us could say the same. Yes. Yes. I have the best guardian angels. My mom will attest to that for a number of reasons. So, but yes, and weigh in Wednesday tomorrow. Cindy says, yes, weigh in Wednesday tomorrow. So you guys all have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow.